Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I am so out of breath. I was running up the steps. I shouldn't have done that. Or maybe I should have just paused from starting this video. But anyway, thank you for being here. If you are new, this is a lifestyle channel about self-love and self-care. It really is about you determining what your values are, what you love, what you deserve, what you prioritize, what you allow, and tailoring it around your true authentic personality. I think we have come a long way as women to only experiencing what is just kind of like haphazard around us, fall into things that have fallen into our lap, situations that have fallen into our lap. And it doesn't mean that that is a true reflection of what is even possible. And so starting this channel really was about sharing my journey when I looked around and I was like, this ain't right, this ain't it. And strategically and intentionally saying, who am I? What am I? What do I want? How do I want to live? And how do I want to feel? And then just making the changes necessary and choosing differently to get to that life. Okay, so this is actually going to be a part 2. I made a burnout video, just how to prevent burnout in a career, mainly focused on healthcare, but it can apply to a lot of different things. I have a background in healthcare. I worked on a med-surg unit as a CNA for 2 years plus, and then through the pandemic, so that was very interesting. And if you don't know anything about healthcare, there is a term called floating, which ultimately means you just go to different floors to help out, but you know nothing about anything. You know, each floor is such a different little ecosystem. So med-surg being very general post-op care, when they send you to neuro, they send you to the ER, or they need help in the NICU, you just are kind of like on survival mode. You might get a quick little overview of the patient and what they've been doing. And other than that, you're on your own. So I floated a lot. And of course I worked in COVID as well. And then our floor actually turned into like an overflow floor. So seen it all, been through it all. And yeah, that was really interesting, but it gave me so much more of a perspective of how to survive and thrive, because a lot of people came through healthcare plus the pandemic feeling used and abused, and you know, you didn't get that like, oh, all nurses and everyone in healthcare are essential anything. They're treating us like whatever. And so that has a lot to do with how you view yourself, what your mental is, what your thoughts are, and how you view your career and your role, and how much you advocate for yourself. So this is what this is about. So a lot of companies have resources and things available that you might not even know about, that you might not even be scratching the surface. And I had just recently enrolled in a college course. And so our teacher cannot emphasize enough that if you don't talk to me and tell me what's going on, I can't help you. Whether it be anything, tech support, questions, concerns, delays, your internet's not working, you missed this, you missed that for a valid reason. You have to communicate, and you have to step up, and you have to reach, okay? Because they're not going to babysit you and keep checking up on you. So, you know, he was like, I'm here. These are my office hours. This is my email. This is my text. You can talk to me on Zoom after our course, not our course, but like our meeting, our sessions, you know, like, tell me what's going on with you so that you can prosper in this class. My goal is not to just throw the information at you, give you a grade, you know, and try to flunk you, you know what I mean, or fail you. So it really got me thinking about how we feel in our jobs, and our careers. Careers are a little bit more solid and have a little bit more emphasis in our lives, but jobs can be the same way, because jobs can be a side hustle. Jobs can be a stepping stone to your career. And even within entrepreneurship, you still have to advocate for yourself in other ways, because, you know, you're just coming out, you're just stepping out there. So your marketing, your funding, everything that you're doing, you're creating, and you have to like say, no, I am going to do this. I will have this. And just because one bank says no, just because one client says no, just because one contract didn't go through or whatever, doesn't mean that this is not for you and you can't prosper as an entrepreneur. And so let me get back to pushing as far as the resources. First of all, you have to do your research. You have to reach back out to your recruiter or your HR and say, what is available? What do you have to help me? You know what I mean? They'll give you some phone numbers, some websites, some things that might even be funded by your company or organization, from therapy to stipends for travel, wellness, which encompasses so many different things. Come to find out, my mom has a good friend who her company would fund her housekeeping. She don't use it, but that is amazing thing because they recognize you can't work from home and produce, your best work, be an asset, be present if your home is jacked up, your home is dirty, you haven't had time to clean, you haven't had time to move things around and dust those baseboards and clean your ceiling fans and things like that. We are moving away as women from feeling the weight of doing it all. Coming home from working 8 hours a day, and even if you work from home, an 8-hour day, that's a long day in front of your screen, being present, training, interacting, doing whatever you're typing, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. We don't have to sit and debate, oh, one job is more taxing than the other. You're still doing something that is required of you in exchange for whatever pay that you accepted. And that's another thing. I have a video way back of ask for that raise, negotiate your wage. Definitely don't forget the taxes that need to come out of it, or set yourself up so you don't have to pay those taxes. What does that look like for you? But you have to be willing to push for what you need. And let me tell you, because I had to do it, I needed to take a leave of absence from my job because I didn't have a babysitter. My family was a little too far to be available as often as I needed them. I was working a lot of overtime with the hospital. I worked 12-hour shifts from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I also needed to be able to get home by a certain time to get them ready for school, blah, 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 blah. So I go and say, can I take a leave of absence? Because I know I got some money saved up, that's allocated for that. And that did not technically, per policy, fall into the category of like some type of injury or whatever. It was like two different types of categories. And so I was like, well, that's okay because it's an emergency to me. So I can show y'all better than I can tell y'all. And it wasn't in a ghetto way. It wasn't in a confrontational way. But I was like, I kept pushing. I didn't just take the first answer as to, no, you can't take it because it doesn't fit into these two categories. Me, in my head, I'm like, that don't make any sense because life happens. Life is unpredictable. And this is my situation and emergency. So I need to be able to utilize the funds and the time that I have accrued to do what I need to do because I am a valued employee. I want to do my best, but I need to sort this out first, blah, 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 blah. So I kept going. I wrote my letters. I wrote my emails. I went to the different offices during the day to talk to these people. I called the hotlines. And long story short, after a lot of time, I got what I needed and I got what I wanted and I got paid during that time. Now, if I had just been like, oh, okay, they said no, I've been sitting there stupid, like, well, I guess I have to put in my 2 weeks because the math ain't mathin'. And so I say that to say, you have to be in your own corner and you have to professionally and strategically and firmly go for what you need because there's always going to be something that maybe someone doesn't understand. Maybe it's something new. Maybe they're new. Maybe they don't know all the ins and outs of the information that you need. You can always find the answers. You can always find a workaround. You can always find what you need. Because remember, what is for you is for you. What you're seeking is seeking you in every sense of the way, honestly. I wouldn't say she's a good friend, but I was talking to a young lady who just got her new job, and she, because a commute in the city into DC is like 45 minutes, she'll be able to work from home part-time, and then the days that she does have to commute in, they will cover her Uber cost or her train or metro or whatever she wants to do, which, yeah, take advantage of that. And then whatever you don't spend, I was like, can you pocket the rest? Like, what does that look like? Find out. You know what I mean? Don't just let the money just sit there and you not tap into that. I would, look, you're giving it to me. I want to use all of it. So go back to the drawing board. Them packets that they send you, read. open them open that stuff up and see what's available. Even if it isn't on site, it may be a website, like I said, or a hotline, or another third-party service like therapy that is available to you that can really help you flourish through your career or your job. And it really make it starts being full circle. It's not just a place that you go to get your money. It's a place that also pours into you so that you can be, the best you for that company, because retention is really big. They don't want to keep laying off people, firing people if they don't have to. They want you to stay with them because they paid you, they onboarded you, and that is a very expensive process. So it's a win-win if you stay with them 10 plus years and you are satisfied. You're not just always scrolling on one of them websites where you're constantly looking for the next job. You're constantly like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. Like, this is just a stepping stone. Which, again, there's nothing wrong with the growth, but they want to see growth with them. They want to see growth, like you start at entry level, then you get to the middle phase of your career. So you're, maybe 3 to 5 years in, and then you maybe consider leadership or training or whatever it is. So there's so many opportunities available, but it's up to you to go and, again, get the answers, get the resources, get the help that ultimately ties back into your self-care and your self-love, so that you're not burnt out and you're not spread thin and you're not unfulfilled, essentially. And again, don't forget, at the end of the day, money can buy a lot of things, especially leisure, comfort, and stability. So don't forget to ask, hey, if I do this certificate, if I do this training, if I go back to school, what does that look like on the back end? Can you fund it? Oh my goodness. Last thing, not only will you get the raise, but some companies will pay for you to go to school. When I was really, really close to going to nursing school, you had the opportunity to go back and get your bachelor's of nursing, and the hospital would basically fund you. They'd give you so many years to complete it. And of course, you agreed to work with them for so many years, blah, blah, blah. But you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. So if it is fulfilling, it is, what you love, what you enjoy, definitely just don't forget to keep taking full advantage to have the work-life balance that you need. And thank you for watching this video. And to the next one. Peace. Bye.